Hi everyone, Dale here, aka Wonder Knight, back with another video. Today I wanted to talk about some special years in gaming for me, 1996 to 1998. Prior to 96, there was a couple years where I had taken a break from gaming. I don't really know why. I probably was just hanging out with friends a lot more. We were, I was working. I was 19, 20. I just didn't game as much as I used to when I was a kid. But that all changed in 1996, where I got reinvigorated into the passion that is video games for me. I just wanted to come on and kind of explain the events that happened that made me reinvest in it. I'd always been a gamer, and games were always very important to me, and they were my hobby. I still enjoyed them, but sometimes you do take breaks from things you enjoy, and it's good for you. But in 1996, that changed definitely. So it was summer of '96. My girlfriend at the time, we had just met previous to the summertime, and she's now my wife. So we've been together for a long time, since 1996. But we used to go into video stores back where we lived in Vancouver, and one particular video store that we went to was called Rogers Video. So yeah, this one day we walked in Rogers Video, and they kind of had you go in one door, and when we got in, there was right away, bam, there's this N64 kiosk with Super Mario 64. You can play the first level or so. And I just blew me away right away. I was like, oh my God, this looks unbelievable. Mario in 3D, like I gotta try this out. So every time we'd go to that video store, as long as the machine wasn't busy, I was able to go on there and just play it and try it out and just be wowed by it, because it was so amazing and so different than what we'd seen in video games previously, that when I did see it, I was just, oh my gosh, like this is crazy. This is like what you can do with Mario, and how you control him, and how he runs around, and just everything in 3D. And it was just, I was there, and my wife would have to drag me away from the kiosk, just because I was just so enamored with it. And right then was the point where it kind of flipped for me from, okay, I'm back into this, back into this hobby, back into this passion. I mean, not that I'd left it, but it was just that game just drew me in so much. So whenever we went there, I was trying it out and playing it, and it kind of made, my wife realize that how much I was into this and how much this was really important to me. So for Christmas '96, yeah, she got me an N64 and Mario, Super Mario 64, and when I started playing it, I have fond memories of it. Not only because she got it for me, but just because it was such a spectacular title for its time, and what it was able to accomplish. And when I played it, thinking back now, I ended up getting all 120 stars and thoroughly just playing that game through, and nothing else interrupted me. I was just when I wanted to sit down and play games, I was playing my N64. I just got it, but just that need to want to get through it all and enjoy it for everything that it was a memory, not only because my wife got me the N64 in the game, but it's just a memory I'll cherish as one of the games. And I'm going to talk about a few games here, but one of the games that kind of propelled me back into gaming. So yeah, after I was done with Mario, I got the itch to get a new console, and of course the new kid on the block was Sony PlayStation. So I was down at the video game store one day, and they had a PlayStation there. I picked it up, and my first game on that console was Resident Evil. Again, fantastic series. I had great memories of playing Resident Evil. Usually, when I play a horror game, I'm usually playing late at night in the dark, just to set the ambiance a bit. I like to get a bit of a scare out of things like that. And yeah, so I was living at my parents' house at the time, and down in the basement, and I'd be up late and playing Resident Evil, and everyone would be asleep, and it'd be it'd be quite the sight, and when I'd scare myself, or I'd try to go to bed after, and it definitely set the tone for that game. And that game, I mean, the exploration of that mansion, and just what they were able to accomplish with that game as well was, I mean, it was just spectacular. Getting lost in that mansion was a great experience. Being able to just be in the dark, and going around each corner, into each room, into each section of that mansion, exploring it, as you played through the game, was just, you get lost in it. You truly, become a part of that world, and as the enemies get harder, and as the game goes on, saving your ammunition and trying to conserve is a big part of Resident Evil games. So I kind of learned as I went along, as I played, that you do need to save your bullets and try to come up with different ways to kill the enemies, so that you do have the required ammo for the end game. As the game moved on, I got to know that mansion really well, and I try to play that game, try to go back and play that game, once in a while, like whether it be once every year, once every couple of years. I mean, obviously I don't play the PlayStation version anymore, but the GameCube one is the one I prefer to play. It's just so much more polished, and they did a fantastic job remastering it for the GameCube. But Resident Evil, another huge title in my evolution of becoming the gamer I am today. So yeah, that was the next game that just really knocked it out of the park for me in those years. So the third game that really made me the gamer I am today was another PlayStation game. Came out in 1997, and that's Final Fantasy VII. I've always been a huge role-playing game fan, RPG fan. I think it started back with Dragon Warrior on the NES, and Final Fantasy on the NES, and into the Super Nintendo with the Final Fantasy games, Secret of Mana. I always enjoyed a good Japanese role-playing game, and when the anticipation that I had for Final Fantasy VII coming out was at an all-time high. I had moved out by that point. I was living in an apartment, and we actually lived really close to a video game store. It was quite funny. It was I could literally walk out of the apartment complex, and I could be at our local video game store, which was called Encore Video Games. I think it was called Willow before that, but it was called Encore Video Games when we were living in that apartment complex, and the apartment was literally right behind the store. So I used to, I could get to that video game store in about a minute and a half, 2 minutes walk, and it was nice. When Final Fantasy VII came out, I got out of bed that day, and kind of zipped over to the video game store where I had pre-ordered it, and that game just being whisked off into the world of Midgar and the planet, and being with Cloud and Tifa and Barret and Aerith and the rest of the gang, it just it was such an amazing leap forward from the sprite graphics we had before to the graphical style they had now, and it was more adult-like. It was when you did go into a battle, your characters were more realistic, and not that I don't love the sprite games and what was happening in the past with those are fantastic games as well, but this had just moved forward in such a way that it was shocking. I mean, this game had so many firsts: the world, the battles, the limit breaks, the materia system, the story about what they were doing to the planet, and the villains they had, and it all came together in such a nice package that it was just a treat to be whisked away into this world for the time I had to play for my first time. So yeah, if you've never played the original Final Fantasy VII on PlayStation, and you're an RPG fan, do yourself a favor, go back and play that game. yeah, the remasters and the remakes are fantastic, and I'm really enjoying those. But the original just hits a little different, and it takes you back to a time where games were, you know, breaking the mold. The final two games I want to talk about are from 1998, and what a banner year for gaming. Goes down as one of the greatest years of video games ever. The first game's Metal Gear Solid. I mean, please take me away to Shadow Moses again, because, um, you know, being able to play it and finish it in a weekend, really, because it's not a super long game. It's just the action, the gameplay, the stealth of it, the characters, the story that Hideo Kojima's able to spin here, and and even kind of have fun with the players of the game. I mean, I won't spoil it for some people who haven't played it yet, but there's some moments in the game where it, you know, it kind of messes with your head a bit, which is, you know, you're kind of finding yourself sitting there going, what's going on right now? Like, is this what's happening here? I played Metal Gear on the NES, and I didn't finish it, but I dabbled in it. But when Metal Gear Solid came out, and you know, I popped that in, and you know, I did finish it in a weekend, because I couldn't put it down. Um, it just is one of those games that the storytelling is so good, that Hideo Kojima just hooks you in, and you're just along for the ride. It's quite the game. It really is. I highly recommend it. I mean, going back to it now, it's going to look a little aged, but it's still very playable. I mean, I haven't bought the Metal Gear Master Collection yet, but I will be picking it up at some point. Still trying to decide what system to get it for. I mean, PlayStation 5 or Switch. And the last game I want to talk about, as the games that solidified me as a gamer again in the 90s, is Zelda Ocarina of Time. Going from, you know, the top-down views of the original Zelda and Link to the Past to the side-scrolling viewpoint of Zelda 2, to the first 3D Zelda. I mean, again, it's a groundbreaking game in the way it was developed, and being able to play as Link in 3D in an open world situation like that is it's something to remember and to enjoy. You know, I think they took what worked well with Mario 64 and kind of applied it to a Zelda game, but also added new elements like the targeting system, the ocarina, and the songs that you could play and what they would do when you played a certain song. The dungeons that we had in the game, and let's forget about the water temple, but all the other dungeons, the puzzles that they were able to add into the game. Also, Kid Link versus, you know, being teenage Link was kind of a neat addition to the series. And the mini games too. I mean, some were good, some weren't so good, but it was just another aspect of the game that was added in that you could, you know, kind of have some fun with. But this game, I mean, back then, it was really one of those games that just, you know, for my generation, when it came out, and I bought the collector's edition when it launched, which is the gold cart with the gold cover, which I thought was pretty cool as well. But just when you popped it into the N64 and loaded it up for the first time, and you see Link kind of riding across the Hyrule on Epona, it was just like, wow, holy cow, like this is happening, and this is one of those games that just, it's got some special moments. I'd like to thank everyone for watching the video about the games that made me the gamer that I am today. And tell me in the comments below, what game in your past has made you the gamer that you are today? I mean, I'd love to hear some of the games that you guys have played that have had an impact on your life or an impact on your past. And again, it's very inspiring hearing from you guys. So if you like what you're seeing, let me know. I'd love to hear what kind of videos you guys would like to see. And when I do get a message or a comment, I love to reply to them, and it makes me want to make more videos and have more fun with it. So I hope everyone's playing some games that are inspiring them right now, and I hope you're having a great summer, and we'll catch you on the next video.